Get in here, we get started. All right, all right. Welcome to the Novice Sports Show. This is our second episode. Coming in, we got my man A what?
AJ.
We got my man who?
Jay.
And then we got A-Dub over here. Again, this is the Novice Sports Show. This is a novice opinion about what's going on in sports. Again, please like, share, and subscribe if you like the content. Share it with your friends. Like I said, we're looking to build our following. So again, with that, we're gonna jump into it. So we were scrolling through. Of course, everybody knows the news. Dez did an interview, and he said the Dallas Cowboys are political. I don't know how true that is, but I'll say that until we turn it over to, because we'll turn it over to Alan for his opinion on that.
Well, so first, tell everybody what his main thing was.
Okay, so basically, I'm doing the interview again, as we all saw on YouTube and Twitter and all the platforms. He was talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars game. He was saying that basically he only got the ball very, very short times, or 2 targets or minimal targets every time he targeted the ball. Of course, this is in a contract year, so when the ball was thrown to him, he scored twice. He did his thing. You're gonna pay me my money. He said, and again, allegedly, I quote, that he knew that JG, the head coach at the time, had something against him because, again, the ball wasn't flowing to him. And of course, I get it. When you want to win a game, you got to get a ball to your athletes. You got to put people in the best situation to win. It appears when you look at things historically with Dallas, you seem to see their biggest players disappear in the biggest moments. And I don't know, with this perspective, are the Cowboys truly political?
And I guess it's like this. Everything is political, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line, and with the Cowboys in particular, they want to win. They want to win championships, right? Nothing else is good enough for Jerry. He wants to win titles. He already has the richest franchise.
Yep.
He got more money than anybody. He got the biggest stadium with all the the best toys.
Yep.
But what do we always hear about the Cowboys? And as a fan, as fans, we hear that they can't win the big when they hold when the big time comes. So here's my thing. If you're not gonna win, if you're not trying to win, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But I just can't believe when you got your best players that you would intentionally not give them the ball because you're worried about how much money they're gonna get in their contract. Win the game. Give the ball to whoever you feel like is going to help you win. I just can't believe that coaches, that quarterbacks, that players would rather lose than do the best thing they can do to win those games. So, the thing you always hear about receivers, especially number 1 receiver, is that they're all divas. And that's what makes it great. From Michael Irvin to Dez to CD, to
Drew,
to everybody, right? And that's what makes them great. And they always think they're open. No matter what. And even if they're not open, they still say, throw me the ball anyway. Right? With a quarterback and the coach can't really live like that, right? So they're looking at the playbook, they're looking at the film, and they're like, okay, Dez got 3 guys on him in this coverage. We can use him as a decoy, and we can hit so-and-so on the other side. Well, the Dez, he's like, man, no, I'm open. Quit sending me on these BS routes.
That's what he said too.
And I get it. But again, the political part, yes, I can see that with everybody, but I can't see people are trying to say, well, Dallas, that's a Dallas issue and that, nobody else has that issue but Dallas. I'm like, no, I don't believe that.
I'll put it this way. I was never a big fan of that particular head coach, because of the system he ran, and it was always about the right guy, and I was just rolling my eyes in my head. I said, if you want a bunch of squeaky clean football players, you ain't gonna have a football team. Period. You have to take opportunities and chances at some point to put somebody in your team. Because if you go back to the 90s, right, again, everybody always talks about the 90s for the Dallas Cowboys, yes, but this is just a prime example of them bringing in a Haley who had quote unquote problems, or them bringing in like I said, we all know about the cocaine Cowboys. So yeah, those guys, and allegedly the house that everybody talked about, and that everybody went to do the thing again, allegedly. I have no proof. So, those guys you need to have on your team. But I think, like I said, I don't think that particular coach at the time who was here for 10 years was not the guy to be in charge because I don't think he set the standard to win.
I can see that. I can see that.
I think, like I said, I think he was more concerned about his job than anything because, like I said, after 2 or 3 8-8 seasons, I thought he should have been gone, and I really lost faith in the Joneses at that point.
Yeah, I don't really know what the deal was.
Yeah.
I used to joke he must be dating one of Jerry's granddaughters or daughters or somebody.
Blackmail.
He got something on somebody because think about it now. We're complaining about McCarthy, and I'm no fan of McCarthy.
Yeah.
But we've been 12-5 for 3 years in a row,
Correct.
and his job is on the line.
Yeah.
But yet the other guy, Jason Garrett,
Had 10
had,
years.
with 8-8s
10
all
years.
through and worse, and it's like his job was never in doubt.
Never. I think he's the guy.
And again, we as Cowboy fans, long suffering fans,
Yes.
It's been a long time since the 90s. And we're the first to admit that.
Yes, we
But
are.
but I can't believe that they're not trying to win. I mean, we've seen, look at Seattle against the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
They got cute.
Oh, God.
And everybody says
Wow.
they didn't want Beast Mode
Be the
to get that
MVP.
because he'd be the
Here we go.
MVP. They wanted Russell to get it because he was a squeaky clean guy.
Yep.
And, again, I know all those kinds of decisions are going into everything, but guarantee it, if they had it to do all over again,
Want to win it.
they'd have won that title and figured the rest of it out
Yeah.
next down the line.
But you'd have been the co-MVP.
Exactly.
I mean, so, it makes you wonder. It does really make you wonder, though, because, you hear all these things on the internet about the NFL being scripted like the WWE. And I crack up because I'm like, there's no way in the world you're going to tell me, oh, I'm playing receiver and I know this is a critical moment in a game. I'm gonna run across the middle wide open. I'm gonna drop the ball intentionally.
Exactly.
Yes, you're reading the script. Like what? You
Yeah.
ain't going. I'm catching the ball and I'm trying to take it to the house.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to fumble unless there's some remote control thing in the ball that click that makes the ball pop out of your arm, which I don't think happens. Oh, you're gonna fumble at the most critical time in the game. I said, do you think Ernest Biner? This goes way back for some of you, right? Ernest Biner, the whole opened up like the Red Sea.
Cleveland, right?
Cleveland versus
Denver.
Denver in the AFC Championship game. Cleveland had a stacked team. Bernie Kosar, Ernest Biner, and this whole opened up like Moses put his staff in the Red Sea. You had Ernest Biner. I mean, it was just nobody in front of him, man. And all of a sudden, the ball pops out of that. I don't know how that happened. And ever since that, like I said, ever since that point up until now, they've been horrible. So you're trying to tell me that Ernest Biner, quote unquote, said, okay, I know this is the part in the script where I'm supposed to fumble and send the franchise in the shambles for the next 50 years.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't think that happens. I mean, maybe it's a joke, maybe it's not, but like I said, I find it hard to believe that, you don't want to win. I mean, every one of us sitting at this table and everybody probably in the world wants to win at something, so even in basketball, could you imagine LeBron going, I know this is game 7 and, I know we're down by 50, but I don't want the ball.
Right. That's typically not going to happen.
Yeah.
But there was an interview.
Yeah.
I need to go back and
Mhm.
put that in this clip.
Yeah.
Of an NBA guy saying, with the playoffs, it does become political, being that, with certain teams, you're not expected to win.
Yeah.
So if you happen to win, you need to win by at least 20.
Yeah.
To make it
Believable.
that much believable. So I would say for football, even with yesterday, Green Bay had a couple times where they could have solidified the game. But how much of a political thing on their end was it for them to lose?
No.
I don't know. I don't think that was political. I mean, they as they say, we let them off the hook.
Yeah.
Dennis, what's his name?
Dennis Green.
Dennis Green. We knew they are who we thought they were. Literally. I mean, they came out there and they exposed them for their defense or what it was. You know, if everybody that said last week Dallas didn't get a sack, I really don't think they touched the Love that I
Yeah.
can recall. There
He
were
was
no-
sitting back there
he was
for
sitting
lots
back
of
there,
time.
plenty of time. I mean, he was dicing up that secondary. You know, Bosa was pretty much kept in check. Fred Warner, hardly ever called his name unless the tackle was 5 yards down the field.
Mhm.
They were running that ball down their throats. You know, for an O-line that didn't get any credit all year, you know, they came in and get three critical plays in that game. One, missed field goal. The throw back over the middle in the, I think either third or second quarter when they were going in to score,
Mhm.
where it ball was tipped when he threw it behind the receiver. That, because he had time, he wasn't being pressured. He threw it off his back foot. I don't know if he was trying to be his mentor where he's flicking it off his wrist.
Right, successor, Aaron Rodgers or
Yes,
Brett
yeah.
Favre.
Yeah, so one of those guys, but that's something you don't do when the guy's that open. You put it on his numbers. You don't put it up here, you don't put it here, you put it here, you let him run after the catch. So those two picks and that missed field goal, did they miss a second field goal? I thought they missed two field goals.
I know he missed that one. I can't remember.
Yeah,
That
'cause
was,
when they missed that field goal, that changed the tone of the game. And I can tell you this, a lot of Niners fans were quiet till they scored.
Yeah.
And when they kicked that field goal, that was it, because it was 21-24. Like I said, if they would y'all have been going in overtime, and I think y'all really wouldn't have won that game, because your defense wasn't as stout as it normally is, because
Mhm.
again, they weren't getting any pressure.
Jordan Love definitely showed his age on that.
Oh, yeah,
on that interception.
Mhm.
Going away and then throwing it across the field and
Yeah.
across your body.
Yeah, you don't do that.
When you didn't have to per se.
Yeah.
and again, he got away with it last week against Dallas.
God.
Yeah, he did.
But the
And,
holes that look,
you know.
when you're playing against, in the Dallas ran the big nickel package, right? 48. And again, the Achilles heel of that defense is no linebacker. And I think every Dallas fan that's worth his grain of salt has been saying that since training camp.
Mhm.
But back to that, that's the cardinal sin that every coach teaches you at every level. If you're going this way, do not throw the ball back this way, because there's a guy back there just waiting for you to throw the ball, because the ball's in the air a lot longer than it is when it's going this way or that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was eyeing his receiver going the other way. You was
Yeah.
looking at
There were
him.
two guys on him. I mean, again, people see like Pat Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers,
Mhm.
make that play because they're ad
1,000 times.
and it works. And then they think, okay, I can do that.
Mm-mm.
Look, even when those guys make that throw and it works, the coach is still saying, that's not a good throw.
Yeah.
We're not going to get away with that every
Yeah,
time.
They do this. Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I get it. You got to make plays. Like, I want a quarterback that's not afraid to try to make
Sling it.
plays,
Yep.
but you just, that's just, he's kicking himself over that one. That's right.
I'm sure they all are. I mean, because yesterday, I'll be honest, I felt, and again, it's just my opinion, that the better team did not win.
Oh, wow.
I did. I mean, because they were yesterday, literally, Green Bay had them on the ropes. Literally, if this was a boxing match, right? They didn't deliver the knockout punch, San Fran would be sitting at home right now.
But
Because-
do you think,
Mhm.
I still think San Francisco was the better team.
Yeah.
They didn't play better
I mean,
yesterday.
yesterday, that's what
Okay,
I'm
I
saying. The
got you, I
better
got
team did the better, in my opinion.
I
Again,
got
I mean, I'm not talking roster wise, I'm not talking record wise. I'm talking based upon what I saw yesterday in
got
the game.
I got you.
If it wasn't for the late touchdown by McCaffrey, right? The go-ahead field goal. I mean, because think about it. Okay, supposedly they are the best team in the NFC. Yes, they are. That I will give them. Yesterday, they did not put that on tape.
They didn't play with a
Because-
chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, they didn't play. They didn't play like they were playing Dallas. They didn't play like they were playing Philly.
No, I give it to
You
you.
get what I'm saying? That game, like our game against them, should have been a wash. When I literally expected San Fran to come in and put up 48. That's what I literally.
Dave, you got to think about it. It was pouring down rain,
Yeah, it was.
and then Debo gets
Yeah, but
out.
he got hurt
you know,
too. So Debo
I
got
don't-
hurt.
and again, I've never played at that level, of course.
Yeah.
And I definitely haven't been in a cold downpour the whole game,
Right.
trying to throw the ball
And trying to
downfield,
catch it.
But
So with you saying that the 49ers were the better team, but didn't necessarily, show that.
Yeah.
how do we feel about quarterbacks? We have a young quarterback versus a game manager,
Well,
apparently from what Cam says,
yeah,
which some people agree, some people don't. How do we kind of see that right now?
well, I mean, I don't think Purdy did anything special. Did you see anything special?
No, I think he had a
I didn't-
horrible game.
Yeah.
I mean, he
didn't
made
see-
plays at the end. He didn't
Yeah.
make the big mistake
Yeah.
that
He
that
didn't throw a
Love
pick. He
made,
didn't throw a
Right.
pick,
but
but they were a lot of tip balls.
a lot of
He got
tip balls,
lucky.
a lot of
A
lot of miss.
lot of missed throws to
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah.
So
And
with
he
the-
got sacked, didn't he?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
He got sacked, I think, two or three times.
With these young quarterbacks,
Mhm.
being in positions that they're not supposed to be in right now,
Yeah.
supposedly. Jordan Love,
CJ
CJ Stroud. How do we feel about these young and upcoming quarterbacks right now? How do we feel
I'll
about the
say
league?
this, I'll say this, okay, Alan and I always agree on this, right? Once they get 12 games of tape or 17 games of tape on you, you have tendencies. So it's not about what you do the first year. Again, this is just for CJ Stroud,
Right.
right? So once they figure out, and again, the blueprint was given to how to beat them literally yesterday, right? You take away the play action, you make him beat you. And he couldn't do it because he didn't have time in the pocket with the pressure,
Hmm.
right? Now, when you move to Love, that's a different story because he got to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for years and learn. So
He did.
and you can see some of the way he flicks the ball, something his stance, the way he dances in the
It
pocket.
comes from him.
It comes from Aaron, because Aaron used to do the same thing, and I can never figure out how come you can't sack this guy. He's right
He
there.
ain't fast.
He ain't fast. I mean, he's not a Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
He's
not
a-
dual threat quarterback
yeah,
at all.
he's not a Watson. Look, he wasn't even an Elway because Elway could run.
Yeah.
He ain't even Josh Allen.
Yeah, or Josh
Right.
Allen or Steve Young.
Yeah.
Steve Young was one of the most versatile running quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that when Aaron Rodgers used to sit back there and step up and step to the side and step this way and people would just fly by him, I always thought it was crazy. I mean, I really did. And I'm just like, but yesterday in the two games I've watched Love, I see the same tendencies and mannerisms. He's stepping up and he's holding the ball just like Aaron would, and all of a sudden he just flicks it. And you're like, where's it going?
Well, that's one thing you got to look at with Green Bay.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Green Bay.
Yeah.
They know how to, whether it's luck or whether it's, you look at Brett Favre, right?
Yep.
They drafted Brett Favre.
They
Well, actually, they traded for him, got him from Atlanta. Yeah. But nobody thought he wasn't like he was the number one guy, and everybody thought he was going to be the he wasn't like he was the number one pick coming out, right? They drafted or they get him, and then he becomes what he becomes, right?
Yeah.
And then people are mad
Mhm.
when they got Aaron Rodgers
They were.
because they were like, we got Brett Favre. Why are we taking Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers could have gone number one, but they decided to go with Alex Smith instead, and he dropped to what, 12 or
He
13
dropped
or
to
something,
20
something.
23rd, drafted by Green Bay.
And so he was mad. Favre was mad. He
Yep.
was sitting, but then how'd that work out? You end up with Aaron Rodgers, who's better than Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Then he's mad because you draft
Love.
Love,
in the second round or in
Yeah.
the first round.
and Aaron Rodgers is like, yo, we got other pieces we could fill.
Yep.
Why are you trying to bring in my replacement already?
Yep.
Well, Aaron probably would have been out of there before that.
Yeah.
I think part of that reason why he stayed around so long was to make them eat that draft pick.
Yeah.
And so Jordan Love is just sitting there and he's having to wait his turn. Aaron probably talked about leaving every year.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Never did.
Never
The
did.
drama. Is Aaron gonna sign?
Yeah. And then
Mhm.
he leaves. You bring in Jordan Love. You don't know really what you got.
Mhm.
But then this playoff run and this
Now you know.
second half of the season.
Yeah.
Packers, say what you want.
They played well.
Love is
But
probably
you-
gonna be there for
Yeah, he's
a
gonna be there
minute.
for- yeah, he's gonna be there for a while.
Yeah.
It looks like some Packers fans started to love him last night, though.
Oh, they were loving him. They were loving him when they crushed us.
Better love him.
They look 48 points, and
Yeah.
that's national championship score.
Yeah.
That's October versus a D2 school and Alabama's playing.
Yeah. He couldn't have played any better.
So is Purdy's job, is that secure for him?
100%.
Yeah, he has nobody. behind
Listen,
him.
they went all in on Purdy.
Yeah, they
They
did.
put all the chips in the middle of the table, and he needs to loosen up. Like he was tight in this game,
Yeah,
and not be the game manager. He needs to make the plays that are there for him. He doesn't have to be Lamar Jackson, but when you got an open receiver, I feel like he played real tight.
Yeah, he played, something was not right.
Lucky,
He makes those
then again, the
throws.
weather was horrible. We don't know. He had a glove on. He took the glove off. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah, but still though, okay, but the same thing applies to what Love, right? He played in the same conditions and.
yeah, but you got to remember,
Yeah,
Love is from North Dakota, South
Yeah.
Dakota. He played in the cold
Played in the
snow,
snow.
and he Green Bay. You
Love
know,
is
what-
from that.
That probably ain't bothering me.
It's different.
Yeah. But again,
Mhm.
Purdy has to play better if they
Yeah, I
have a
think he
shot.
does, but I think he likes it, but to go back to what Cam said, what Jay said, I think I've always said he is not him. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has one of the most talented rosters.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right, and again, when you remove, and my measure of a true quarterback is like a Dan Marino or Aikman or a Brady.
What can you do when?
What can you do when you have nothing?
Yeah,
Nothing.
You know, and they're, trust me, when Brady had nothing, he still got them to the playoff. They didn't do well in it, but he got them there. Now, I mean, I'm not a Brady fan, but like I said, that's my measure of, I don't see him being that guy.
I mean, I don't think he doesn't have to be Tom Brady,
No,
but he's made enough plays in the 2 years that he's been playing quarterback where I'm like, I keep waiting for the wheels to fall off of this dude.
yeah,
And if he didn't get hurt last year,
yeah.
they might have won the whole thing.
Yeah, what would have been? Well, that might have been the.
He was out there throwing with one arm, with no arms, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he couldn't throw the ball from me.
But you got it to the right person.
And so
Yeah.
we'll never know, what would happen with that.
Well,
And lucky for him, they
Mhm.
better hope Debo comes back.
yeah, if not, boy.
He has that monkey off his back. They got through this game.
Yeah.
The number 1 seed, the expectations are on him.
Mhm.
I think he'll play better next week.
I hope so. Not
For their
boy.
sake, he better play
They're
better.
playing a pretty tough Lions team.
Well, not yet.
Yeah. Not
Oh,
yet.
yeah, I'm sorry.
You gotta wait and see today.
I don't look, okay, speaking of today, I really just don't think.
Yeah.
I see the Lions running all over that defense, but that's just, I could watch them
that-
come out and lay a complete
Yeah.
0 egg.
That's what I hope happens. I hope the Lions play well and we get the Lions, and the 49ers.
Just 1-2 seed.
And that's the Lions versus the Buccaneers today at 3.
Yeah.
By the way, fans.
Yeah.
But I mean, how much we talk about Brock and we talk about him throwing it to his, to his
Weapons.
playmakers.
Weapons, yeah.
I mean, he has enough film on him now. So what
Well,
does
they
he have
do.
to add to his game to be a playmaker at the quarterback position
Well,
and not just throw it to someone
okay,
that
for
can
me,
play,
but
make
I
it make you
think
look
he
good?
needs, okay, so because, you gotta remember the offense they're running,
Mhm.
right? They're running the West Coast offense. Basically, it's 1, 2 balls out, 1, 2, 3 balls out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 balls out. So it's basically timing routes, and it's gotta come out when you hit your back foot, it's coming out. Either it's coming out here or there, based upon the drop steps. The receivers mirror the same thing.
Right.
So I think for me, for him to become a better quarterback,
Mhm.
then when he starts going to his second and third reads and making plays, there we go.
Yeah.
Because think about
He
it,
really hadn't had to do
because
this
he
a
hasn't
lot.
had to do that.
Right.
See, that's just coming from a guy who just watched the game. I ain't watched all 22. I just watched the highlights and I go, he's getting his first read. And that's what I think that's what I believe coaches will begin to do to him, is to say, okay, we're going to take away your first read and make you go to your second, because when you go to your second read, now you're going 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1. Now I got to ad lib. Now I got
A little extra.
that gives the pass rush extra time to get to you. So, but
Yeah, but you're right. He has way less of room margin for error
Yeah.
than these more talent. I mean, again,
Mhm.
NFL scouts
Yeah.
are scouts, and you get paid for a reason.
yes, they do.
Now, everybody, you don't hit on everybody,
Right.
and everybody that you think is a first round pick doesn't end up being first round good, and everybody you take in the late rounds doesn't end up being
Late round good.
late round. Well, they don't end up being Tom Brady,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But so there was a reason why he was the very last
Pick of the draft.
pick of
Yeah.
the draft.
It is.
And the school he went to. I mean, that they're
Well,
known
but
for
there's
quarterbacks.
way smaller schools and way worse schools that
Then
than
I-
him. Yeah, but he got drafted.
Yes, he did.
He made a roster,
Sure he did.
and when his number got called,
He was ready.
he was
Yeah,
ready.
he was.
And
Absolutely, yep.
it's the job of the team and the coach to put the pieces in place
Yeah, to make it
so
work.
that whoever that quarterback is, they had it set up for Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Because Garoppolo is basically like Purdy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's no great.
You sure about that?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's no great
No, great
playmaker,
What?
but you know what I'm saying? They had it set up for him,
Uh-huh.
and look at the success he had.
Yeah.
They realized Garoppolo ain't the guy.
Yeah.
They had
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, and that just never worked out. He got hurt, so we never would have known. You know, we don't know. But in training camp, Purdy and Trey Lance, they were going to go with Trey Lance. And he got injured, right?
Yeah.
And then Purdy stepped up, and the rest is history.
I said, well,
So,
we'll see. Like I
Now
said,
you just can't mess it up.
Yeah.
yeah, they can't. Like I said, their window, but say their window, I think their windows with their, not so much with their quarterback, but their centerpieces is closing.
I tell you what,
Mhm.
Christian McCaffrey
Mhm.
is that guy.
Yo, no. I know, no question about that.
Debo is perfect for that offense.
Yep. How,
Kittle is that guy.
So how long was it?
So let's talk about Debo.
How Debo, South Carolina.
Debo is not your typical wide receiver.
No.
He's a running back and wide receiver.
What, please, can somebody elaborate on that?
He's a run. That's a big dude.
He's strong. He's
a
just
running
and again they're smart. They put him in positions
That's-
to
that's a running
succeed,
back.
and he does. That's why they better hope he's not his shoulder, and they better work some mojo,
Magic,
Mr. Miyagi magic on his shoulder.
Let's move into, one of the MVP candidates. You talked about CMC.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Lamar Jackson
Oh, man.
and what the Baltimore Ravens did to the Texans yesterday.
That was one.
Yeah,
How do y'all feel about, I mean,
That was
in case you guys haven't heard on social media, Lamar was saying, hopefully, if he wins the Super Bowl with the number 8, he's going to go back to the original number that he once had, which was number 1.
Yeah.
And try to do as much as he can with that number 1, just like Kobe did with number 8 and
Yeah.
24. How do y'all feel about that idea for him? And how do y'all feel about, what he did to the Texans and put Belt to?
Well, put it this way, he got my vote. I mean, because he came out. I mean, and I'll say this: the first half of that game was really tight. Because they both. I'll say this as one of my coaches say. Baltimore came out in the first half. It was 10-3, and they were going in to score. If they would have scored, then they didn't. But they punted the ball. Guys scored, made it 10-10. They got real tight, because I kept going. They shouldn't be in this game.
Yep.
They shouldn't. But again, that's all you need. They bowled their back in the first half. But when it came, when it came time to put where the rubber meet the road, and as they say, when it was time to put up or shut up, he put up. And he literally said, "Where's my cape?" Tied it around his neck.
Yep.
He went out and scored 4. Not 2. He ran 2 in, and he threw on that one play where he floated the ball to the backside to that tight end.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, he ain't gonna kick. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, so he got my MVP vote.
They're completely in sync right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
And that's why, again, Lamar's had great regular season success, and then the playoffs, things have just not really worked out.
And a little
I was
rocky.
real happy that they got that win yesterday, especially in a tight game in the first half
Yes.
when you're like, okay, this is one of those where,
Mhm.
make a turnover,
Yeah.
throw an interception, and then you get down, and then
The whole game can change.
whole
Yeah.
thing can change.
Yeah.
And when they did was they got the Texans,
Mhm.
and then when they went up on them,
put
they
it-
never let them breathe, and they just defense
defense.
did their thing, offense did their thing, and then it was over.
Yeah, because what they did was they took away I mean, literally, the Texans could not run the ball. They got a few good runs, but that was it. I mean, especially in the cold, because I don't know about you, playing basketball in the cold outside.
Not
You
doing
don't want
nothing
that
in the
ball.
cold.
You don't want the ball coming at you because it's going to hurt your hands when it
Yeah.
hits it.
How do we feel about the emergence of
Hmm?
one of Lamar's favorite targets, Zay Flowers?
You know
Well,
what?
Go ahead.
I don't remember seeing Zay do much yesterday.
No, he didn't do much, but he did do some.
Okay.
He had some.
He still
critical
impacted
catches.
the game.
He had some critical catches and some juke moves. Me being honest, all right, I didn't see him making that much of an impact coming out, even though he was he's an excellent route runner. And again, I was
Crazy fast,
he's
crazy quick.
crazy fast, crazy quick. But of course, I was going his size. He kind of won me over as I watched him play because he plays bigger than what he
Yeah,
is.
he's tough.
He's a tough guy. I will give him that. Like I say, because where they drafted him, he's producing at a top 10 pick level right now.
Yes.
He's not.
And was
producing-
not a top 10
and he
pick.
was not a top 10 pick. coming out of Boston College, because again, Boston College is not known for receivers. They're
Right.
known for linemen, offensive and defensive linemen, maybe a linebacker, but that's not the school you go to if you want to put up numbers for catching the ball. So like I said, and I think in something Alan said a while ago was, when were they going to give Lamar the weapons he needed? Because I mean, I remember when Lamar came out and he was just running around. He's probably running for his life. Because again, if you're picking that high again, you don't have an O-line.
Yep.
And then the weapons they gave him 2 tight ends and a speed guy.
Mhm.
He was hitting the tight end like crazy.
Yeah, it was Mark
But
Andrews and some other
exactly.
guy before they had Likely.
Yeah.
But and you know what? I think the injury to Mark Andrews made him a better quarterback.
It made him a better quarterback. It made the team deeper.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it made him look for other, because
yeah.
Andrews was his safety blanket.
Yeah,
And he knew that's who, like, safety valve. He could hit him. He knew he could always count on him. Now he counts on other people.
Yeah.
And he's just playing at an
Lights
elite
out.
level again, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
he looks like video game Lamar
Yeah,
again.
and don't forget about that defense.
Oh yeah, defense. That's one thing about Baltimore
Miss.
is when they play, when Baltimore is Baltimore, their defense is elite. And they back to that level.
Back to that. They got Clowney. They got
Queen.
Oh, Patrick Queen out of LSU. They got Roquan Smith out of Alabama.
They got some dogs.
They got who's the other rush in?
It looked like yesterday they had Ray Lewis out there.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure Ray was doing his thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We compared Brock to Love.
Mhm.
We talked a little bit about Lamar, and we're definitely gonna talk about a little bit about CJ.
Yeah.
My question right quick would be, how much of a skill gap as a dual threat quarterback is Lamar to Jalen Hurts? We talk about Jalen Hurts getting a lot of love.
I'm gonna let him have
Okay.
that, 'cause we know how we feel.
Yeah. I like Jalen Hurts coming out of college. Like, I always liked him.
Mhm.
And part of it was, and again, I don't know the guy, never met the guy.
Mhm.
And after this season, maybe I'm wrong, but I always felt like he knew who his limitations were, but as a leader and somebody, I just felt like he was going to be somebody that was going to work to get better at the things he couldn't do well, right?
Mhm.
Now, again, he got a lot of success in year two?
Year two.
Year two.
A whole lot of success, almost won the MVP, almost won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then started off great,
Year 3. Yeah.
and then the wheels fall off at the end. And so we don't know what's going on. But
Yeah.
Lamar is a different type of dude.
Very good.
So Michael Vick was kind of the prototype.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar is better than Michael Vick was. He's a way better passer. He's way more accurate. I don't know if you let him race. I don't know who's faster. But
Michael Vick's faster.
But Michael Vick is more straight line, power fast. Lamar is juking and stopping on a dime and letting people run by, and he's just playing it's like a video.
Yeah.
And I love Michael Vick.
Yeah.
But he's more, if you look at him, he's more power, straight line. He's not like stopping on a dime and juking. He's just fast and moving. But as a passer, Lamar's throwing darts.
Yeah.
I mean, people, try to downplay his passing, but man, he can pass.
Yeah. See, he could pass and here's what everybody forgets. He was passing like that in college when he had the weapon.
Yeah.
When he went toe to toe at Clemson in Death Valley against Deshaun Watson. If he would have got the ball last, they would have won that game.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, he just ran about. He was throwing darts all over the field. I said, so the potential again was always there in my mind. Now for Hurts, again, back to college. I go back to college and how they play it. If you would have taken Lamar Jackson and put him on an Alabama team for 4 years, how many championships you think you would have won? I guaranteed about 3.
I'm just saying. Came in COVID year, it would have been.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You would have taken. If you'd have taken prime Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. No pronounce to any one of them because the challenge tester. You take those guys, swap them. Put Lamar Jackson on Alabama. Do you think Tua would have saw the field?
No, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Now, you take Lamar Jackson. No, I'm sorry. You take Jalen Hurts and you put him at Louisville, and I guarantee you they don't go anywhere.
I think he puts up numbers. I mean,
he puts up numbers, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's
like he
not-
do with
but he's
Oklahoma,
not
but
Lamar.
He's
Yeah.
not gonna.
he's not gonna be Lamar and have
Yeah.
them in the conversation.
Yeah.
So that's how I see the difference in their skill set. Because, Lamar back then was running and throwing, and I couldn't believe they didn't recruit him at Florida State. Because they did. Oh, you're not the quarterback we need. But anyway.
Well, let's talk about the improvement right quick on Lamar.
Well,
I mean, you see how big he is now? I mean, he's not that little boy that came into the league.
Well, none of them are. I mean, they all get on that program, where they eat peanut butter and lift weights, and you have to remember, this is everybody tends to forget in any sport that's pro, this is at an elite level.
Mhm.
This is not coming to your local
YMCA,
gym
yeah.
Right.
or Gold's Gym, whatever. This is your job.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 or 6 to 6 or 6 to 7. This is your job. So it's your job to keep your body in the tip top shape. And if you're going to be a quarterback, there's certain muscles you have to work, core muscles, shoulder muscles, and you got to be flexible because you're going to get hit. So those are the things that you have to do as an athlete that people don't realize. So that, and do you think they're just sitting around on their couch watching? No, they're out there throwing the
Yeah.
balls. They're out there with receivers, throwing balls. I mean, Dak is a prime example. He built a 70-yard football field in his backyard so he could throw the ball to people.
Mhm.
That takes dedication because I'm not spending my money on a football field. That's all I'm saying.
And you got to look at it. So the other thing, the physical attributes,
Mhm.
they have, right?
Yeah.
Lamar, Jalen Hurts. Then you get into the studying aspect of it, and that's where I think Lamar has improved so
Yeah,
That
much
skill gap.
because
yeah.
his, these guys again, they can throw darts, man. They all got arm strength. Reading defenses is the thing
Yeah.
that separates the men from the boys.
Yeah.
And then when you figure that out, and you got command of your offense, and you got trust in your receivers, and you're a crazy athlete,
Scary.
man. I mean, Lamar, you look at Lamar now. He's, what year is he? How many years has he been?
He's been in-
Five,
Five,
because he
six,
got his first contract.
5, 6.
So
Yeah.
early on,
Yeah.
if the pocket broke down a little bit,
Mhm.
he was just taking off.
Mhm.
Now he's stepping up in the pocket. He's dancing. He's moving to the left, moving to the right.
But he's still in that
He's-
pocket. Yep.
He's sliding the pocket, and then he's still got his eyes downfield. So now he's such it's so dangerous now. Like you can't just, think he's gonna take off
Mhm.
or think he's gonna,
That's good.
but yeah, so he's sliding in the pocket, he's moving up, moving back,
Mhm.
still got his eyes downfield, still looking for his receivers. So now you can't just put a spy on him
Yeah.
and say, well, he's ready to take off. No, because now he's throwing darts, and finding the guy. And then if nobody's open, he still knows now when to take off. He's not looking to slide, he's still looking to juke.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just playing with such confidence. I want him to go all the way.
Yeah, I would like to see
I would
that.
like to see it.
But the difference between him and Hurts is, and that's the difference, right? When the pocket breaks down for Hurts, what does he do? He runs.
Yeah.
He's not looking to pass.
And he run like a running back
He's running
too.
like a running back. So when he's running like a running back, and this happened, I'm going to parallel this to Cam Newton. When Cam Newton started running the ball like running back, they started treating him like
He started hitting him like a running
they
back,
started hitting him like running
and he
back.
started getting running back calls
Yeah.
where they're like,
So
pass interference? I mean,
roughing the passer.
roughing the
No.
passer? No,
No,
you
you're
ain't
not
getting
getting. And you're going, that's a rougher pass. So I think the same parallels has happened to him. However, Cam was a better passer than Jalen.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you look and Jalen, like I said, when the pocket for me, and we discussed this before prior to the podcast, that Jalen is the same guy he was at Alabama. Jalen is the same guy he was at Oklahoma. And Jalen is the same guy. Because eventually at some point Alan always got me with this comment or this, can you tell me how many running quarterbacks there are and how long they last?
Yeah.
You can't run. You're going to have to start relying on your arm.
Yeah.
That's how Tom Brady stayed in the league forever. That's how Peyton stayed in the league forever. That's how Elway stayed in the league forever. That's how Aaron stayed in the league forever. You can't rely on your legs all the time.
Yeah.
And it showed this year because they were like, when the pocket breaks down, he likes to run to the right and wide. We're going to force him up to the middle
Yep.
where the linebackers are.
Yep.
Where the linemen. You start taking those hits on your legs, your knees, your
Yeah.
shoulders.
Slows you down.
Slows you down.
You know.
You start feeling that pain. That ball ain't coming out right. And then another thing that really, he's a good leader, but I think he needs to be that fiery leader, right? Do you really think, and this is just an example or hypothetical, because again, we're speaking in hypotheticals. Do you really think AJ Brown would have been yelling at Aaron Rodgers like that? No, I'm just saying, even a young Aaron Rodgers, because you never saw.
I don't know, because I know Dez was yelling at, I mean, T.O. yelled at every quarterback he ever had.
Yeah.
Some dudes just do that,
Yeah,
but
see,
I think it's something internal with them, though.
yeah, that's what I'm about to get
Yeah.
to, because you, in my opinion, right? You never saw, and again, you saw Troy. I was spoiled. I grew up with Troy and Aikman, right? You'd be on the sideline, throw me the ball. Oh, you gonna throw me the ball, and he would throw him the ball. But Troy also was fiery and knew what he was saying. I don't see that same burning.
Right.
And again, he probably could have it. He just don't show it on
Right.
on TV.
Yeah.
And I get that, because he may be the person. I need to process this.
Yeah.
I need to sit down and see exactly what you're talking about. Blah 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 blah.
And you got to think too, this is his third year.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. Again, I don't know the guy, of course.
And we don't.
But after that second year, last year, when he got all that attention, he got all the commercials now.
Yeah.
It's got to be, I don't know if there's like a little jealousy that snuck in. And then when you got a type, a alpha mentality at receiver. And again, we already talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
They feel like they're always open. They want the ball. And, especially, I feel like I'm open. You don't want to pull the trigger, because that's one of your arguments, is that them tight windows.
Yep.
He's not ready to. He's not doing that yet. So he'll take off, or he'll throw the check down, and AJ's like,
What are we
I'm
doing?
wild.
"What are you doing?
Wow.
Let it go, dude. Let it go."
And BB's 5'8". I'm 6'1".
Yeah.
Ball.
Yeah, let it go.
I wonder if, regarding this situation, if we don't really understand AJ Brown's frustrations because we don't know him. Jalen Hurts, Philly didn't want Jalen Hurts to be the quarterback, for a little minute his first year. I mean, the second year like you said, he had a great year, but I wonder if this downfall with the team is showing some of that jealousy and that, hey, we really didn't really want you to be quarterback. We had a good year last year.
I think they brought him in because
Wentz was
the guy they
Definitely not it.
was a high, pick,
Yeah,
top 5 pick, and it just didn't work out. They realized that they're like, we're gonna have to do something else. Was plan B. They got hurt, second round?
second.
They felt like,
Actually bought it, yeah.
I think they felt like they had time to groom him and let him. I don't think they thought he would be playing that as quick as he did.
Mhm.
But their quarterback QB1 didn't work.
Mhm.
They got him in there. He played better than they thought. And then last year he took off.
Well,
Yeah.
it was the system. But see, to speak about that other situation with him, I heard again allegedly that he was and again, this is all alleged. I don't know the true story, but he was more of a me guy. When a quarterback who's a
And this
me
is
guy,
who.
this is the first quarterback that didn't win Super Bowl that came in after Foles came in with Foles.
Okay.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna call no names, but we all know what we're talking about.
Man, look here. Ain't no copyright against
Yeah. Yeah, so Wentz, so that's when I was reading all the feeds and the blogs, they were saying basically that he was a me guy.
Okay.
That's why it wasn't working out in the locker room, because he was more concerned about his stats, his stuff versus everybody else.
Right.
So that, if you're worried about your stats, you're not worried about me, dude. I'm the running back. No, I'm a running. No, I'm gonna throw. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Team starts to fall.
Team starts to fall apart. And again, he wasn't a good leader in the locker room. So, and again, you have to learn that sometimes if you're not a leader.
Yeah.
So, like back to when he came in, the system they run is that RPO system where the quarterback is quote unquote an actual runner.
Mhm.
And of course that works until it catches up with you. Because they always catch up to what you're doing.
Right.
Always. And I think this year, again, when they got enough tape and they got his tendencies, and again, Joey Bosa said it best. You force him to his weak side. And that way, when he runs, you know where he's running to, and there's somebody there to meet him. And that's what they did. And after they lost that game, everybody did that. So now, in order for him to be better, he's going to have to sit in the pocket and pick people apart. But see, that's going to be a problem next year because he doesn't have his center.
Yeah, because the center just retired.
Center just retired. He's got a disgruntled AJ. And you got, I think Dallas Goddard's contract may be up.
Is it, what about Devontae? Is his contract
No,
up again?
Devontae's.
He's good.
He's
He's
good. He's
good,
got
okay.
a 5-year option coming. So, like I said, so all that's gonna have to play. Then, of course, Swift was a rental. So are they gonna re-sign Swift?
Re-sign him.
You know, so their run game is gonna have to be where it needs to be. But this is, to me, his regression is not more or less, and I'll be honest, his regression is not on him. But I think his regression is on the coaches they put in place. Because the coaches, the play calling they had last year was nothing close to the play calling they had
This year.
this year whatsoever. You know, there were power plays they could have ran that they just didn't.
Offense
Last year,
stagnant.
yeah, the offense was predictable, as they say, stagnant. And last year when they were on that Super Bowl run, they would run double pulls and just maul people. I mean, the hole was so big, Allen and I we could all get 5 yards on it. I mean, that's how big the hole was. I could be a star running back running 5 yards a clip.
Yeah.
I get a couple $1 million, my old self. But they weren't doing any of that. They came out, they ran the same play, same formation, no motion. And when you're not running motion, okay, as a defense, I'm gonna say, okay, we're gonna switch the look up on you every time.
Right.
We're gonna show cover 2, roll down into something else. We're gonna show cover 0, roll into cover 3, or roll into 46, and he wasn't able. And again, he's gonna have to. Part of it was the coaching. Part of it was his post read snaps and his reluctancy to throw the ball. Because sometimes you just gotta let it fly.
Yeah.
Fitzmagic would say, "What? I'm throwing it." Either the DB's gonna have to pick it, or you're gonna have to catch it.
Yeah.
So enough about that.
Houston, are we loving CJ? Are we loving CJ Houston? Do we like what we see?
I'm liking what I see.
With CJ, I think he's got everything. You know who CJ is? He's a lot like Dak.
Mm.
He's the perfect
The face?
face of your
Yeah.
franchise. Nobody's perfect, but I don't think you're gonna have to ever worry about
Trouble.
CJ in the off season at the club carrying a gun. I don't think you have to worry about any of that, right?
John Morant.
The biggest key is gonna be, again, first year we got tape on. Now we got some tape on.
Yeah.
him. Next year, does he make a Jalen Hurts jump and take it to the next level, or does he regress because now we kind of see what your tendencies are?
Yeah.
I think everything is there for him to be a really good quarterback. It's just hard to tell this early,
Right.
but I think if nothing else, you got a dude that everybody respects, that could be the face of your franchise and take you. Again, you gotta see how it goes, because Jacksonville got the same thing. They got Trevor Lawrence, who coming out, everybody thought he was going to be. He was probably the highest rated dude ever coming out, and he's been good. But I don't think they don't have necessarily put the best team around him.
Yeah, the right piece.
He's durable. He does all the right things. But they haven't really been able to
It's not clicking.
to put it
They need
together.
They need. Okay, for CJ, yes, everything Alan said, I agree with. He is that guy. Like I said, he's going to be on every poster.
Yep.
If he's going to be, look, that's going to be a role model. That's the guy.
Yep, he's gonna be doing cereal
Yep.
commercials
Sweeties.
and yeah.
That's
gonna be
coming
good.
soon.
It's coming soon.
Yep.
It's all coming soon. I mean, when you
Yeah.
listen to him talking, the way he speaks, fluid, smooth.
Yeah.
They're gonna love that. They don't eat that
He
up.
has he doesn't necessarily give off that Cam Newton swag, but you
Yeah.
can tell he has that confidence.
No,
with
that's
it.
exactly right.
Yeah.
He's got enough
And we love
of
Cam, by the way. We love Cam.
We love Cam in his hair.
in his hats.
And his
Yeah,
hats.
we love
Yes.
Cam, by the way.
Yes.
But he doesn't give that off, which, like you said, gives you a good role model, gives you something to look forward to where it doesn't, that flashiness doesn't, it doesn't become a distraction.
Exactly.
Yeah. So but I think, like I said, I think I think D'Amico Ryans is a good fit for him. I think he's been in the league long enough to understand what it takes to win. And again, this was not expected
Right.
from that organization
At all.
with, having the second round pick. And I know Carolina's kicking himself in the butt right now, but anyway, different topic, different day.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think, but see, now that they've set the expectation, set the bar, that is the bottom at this point.
Yep.
That is, we have to go beyond that next year.
Yeah.
Next year, they want to be in the AFC championship
Yeah.
game or division,
Yeah.
beyond the division round. Again, that's going to be hard to do. You know, but like I said, but it can be done.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, but I think if they get him one more receiver, because they got a running game. They just need they need a change up back, a power back, because they got Singletary, who's more or less was up in Buffalo, and he was basically a speed guy. So if they get a power guy to come in and do that 1-2 smash punch, oh my God.
And then I saw, shout out to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was on Cam Newton's podcast a few days ago. And Cam asked him a question like, hey, how do you feel about, CJ and what he's doing over there with Houston, being that, Deshaun was there and he used to be the face.
Yeah.
And Deshaun had nothing but great words to say about CJ and how, he was mentoring him, when he can and stuff like that, then working out in the off season, stuff like that. So you always love to see that. So CJ, you're in great hands. What do we have coming up today? We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Detroit Lions, and we have the Chiefs versus Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs with the Bills.
That's gonna be
How we feeling about those two games today, fellas?
Hey, let's go play in the snow, baby. Let's go play in the snow. We're gonna have some buffalo snow all over the place. Crazy jokers in the stands with no shirts on, throwing snowballs at each other. I'm looking forward to it.
Well,
I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
Let's get into the early game, which is 3:00. Buccaneers with Detroit. Well, we as in the whole world.
Yeah.
We wrote off Baker Mayfield.
Sure did.
He's back in the little hunt, with the playoffs. So what do you intend to see him do today? And also, Detroit and their stint with not being in the playoffs for a while, and Matt Stafford and stuff like that. How do y'all feel about golf?
Golf, well, I mean, okay, so I'll say this, I'll be honest, I wrote Baker off. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I just said, yeah, he's done. He went to Tampa after Tom, he's done. So yeah, he's surprised. He's playing good football right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he throws the ball mostly to Mike Evans, and he throws the ball to the other guy. I know his name.
Godwin.
Yeah, is it Godwin? Oh, yeah, 14, Godwin. So he throws the ball to Godwin a lot. I don't know if I'll say this. Okay, in today's game, I see their defense, Detroit's defensive end, who's got a high motor.
Is that the kid from Michigan?
Yes, Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Brady Hutchinson. I think he's going to get a couple sacks today, just because of his activity. And I think Baker, as of lately, has been playing very disciplined. And I think if they get him out of that tendency, then he's going to have a problem, because Detroit's defense is pretty stout against the run. So I think if you have to put the entire game on Baker's shoulders, they won't win. So they're going to have to play a very balanced game. And then for the opposite side, I think Goff, again, is playing some of the best ball of his career. But again, he has weapons. They got a very solid one game. They got Montgomery and that other guy, Swift. They got Montgomery and Swift. So there's their change of pace. They got a good left tackle. I can't remember his name. He's really good. And then you talk about their receiving core that's just nothing but speed everywhere. I mean, then they got that young tight end. So, so I think the Bucs defense is going to have a challenge, because they on their back four, they only have one. Winfield can't cover everybody. Their linebacking core, Devin White's a monster, and he's going to have to step up in the run game. Like I said, I just don't see right now, just from the matchups that I'm seeing, them doing it. Now, yeah, Mike Evans is going to get his if Baker can give him the ball. But if the run game is not popping, it's going to be a long day in Tampa.
I think what's interesting is that, Tampa is 2 years removed from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now Baker wasn't there, of course, but
yeah.
I'm guessing a lot of players are still on that team, so they got some experience, right, in the big games and in the playoffs.
Sure.
And then, although Detroit hasn't been there in a long time, we forget Goff has.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to make it interesting, is kind of who handles the pressure. I think on paper, Detroit should be okay. They're at home, they're riding high, but did they ride too high last week?
Yeah.
And now,
Has that momentum dropped?
it's gonna be interesting, because honestly, nobody thought Tampa was making the playoffs,
No.
let alone a chance to make the NFC Championship game. So I think they're probably more relaxed. Detroit's got the pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for Detroit, but
So
We'll see.
let me throw this little question in right quick. Which team would it mean the most to win a Super Bowl?
Detroit.
Detroit, because they have golf.
No,
Detroit because they've never
they
seen
never-
one
yeah.
before.
I mean,
Never even been to
Detroit-
one. Look,
they-
somebody's going to give them
so
directions
bad.
of how to get there.
It's so, I mean, they have been,
Golf hasn't won anything, but you got Lamar and his.
Well,
his
who would it
expectations.
mean the most to is
Yeah.
Detroit.
yeah. Who's
Oh, I take that back. I take that
But
back.
yeah,
I
about to
take
say
that
we got another team in there.
You know who would mean the most to is Buffalo.
That's I was just you
Really?
got
Because
you got
they-
Baltimore, Buffalo,
because-
and Detroit.
Hold
Listen,
4 times in the
in a
90s.
row.
Lost.
Yeah,
I
that's
think-
what I was gonna bring up.
I think right now Detroit.
And they lost. Didn't they lose to Patty?
No, they lost. They lost all 4.
What was that game when Josh Allen lost to Patty?
That was
Was that 2 years ago?
That was
It was playoff. Yeah.
playoff. That was 2. Okay, so
It was to get into the.
Yeah,
get
but
into
was
the
that 2
Super
years
Bowl.
ago?
It was either 2 years. Yeah, it could have been. What's it?
It was. It wasn't last year's year.
Last year was
So
the year
does
before, so.
does Josh? I mean, should he have a chip on his shoulder? I mean, he
He-
should.
Because look,
But
that's
is he gonna get it done?
that's the thing, is that they've been playing.
Good
They
ball.
basically in the playoffs for the last 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Because if they had lost any of those games,
Figure it out.
they wouldn't even have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they got to the last game. Now again, Jacksonville let them off the hook. But if Jacksonville hadn't lost,
Mhm.
literally, if they hadn't won that game, like they ended up with a 2 seed.
Yeah.
They would have been out of the playoffs, not
Yeah.
even in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To go from the 2 seed to out.
Out. Yeah.
And so they've been playing for their lives for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So they're in playoff mode, no doubt.
Well, they're in playoff mode, but like I said, excuse me, not the yawn, but it's going to be a different game because again, you're playing with Mahomes.
Yeah, and this is Bills Chiefs at 6:30 tonight.
Yeah, like I said, so that's a whole nother game in itself. Because you're going, okay, is Patrick going to be Patrick? And the question is, has that receiving core for the Kansas City Chiefs decided not to drop balls?
Yeah.
You know, because they're going with their new guy. Pacheco's going to run the ball. He's going to get his, and I'd hate to have to hit him in a hole because that boy run home. Every time you see him, he's looking for somebody to hit, not me. So, you know, so that's going to be good. And the Bills, again, I think that's going to be a good challenge for the Bills defense because if they don't get any pressure on Mahomes, again, I don't care what the weather is because they play in cold weather too. So I think it's going to be a real good game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, but Mahomes spreads the ball around.
Yeah.
You know, whereas I really don't hear, and again, I don't hear Josh Allen throwing the ball to anybody other than Diggs.
And let me elaborate on that right
Mhm,
quick
go ahead.
because a question just came up. Does Josh Allen have a lot to lose, being if he loses to Patty Mahomes again, and if he doesn't give Diggs the ball, does
Mm.
Diggs leave?
Well, I don't know if Diggs leaves, but Diggs is gonna be in his ear all night. You don't want to hear that.
I mean, Diggs was in his ear last year.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
do
it's
you
the-
want that again?
No, not so much that. I don't think the pressure so much on Josh because they will move off the coach before they move off the court.
Yeah, they love it.
Of course, of course.
That's
You're
kind
right.
of how that works because
You're right.
the coach makes
Coach first and then players.
then the players.
And here's the thing.
Mhm.
I think Josh needs to be Josh, right? I think too much. He gets, he turns the ball over a lot, but he also leads the league in scoring touchdowns.
Mhm.
So when he tried, I think he early on was trying to be too perfect.
Mhm.
He's gonna need a little bit of that
Run the ball.
Mahomes / Cam / Lamar
Slash.
/ uh,
Swag.
Brady. Like he's gonna have to be.
You better eat a
he gonna
good
have to be all
breakfast
those
and lunch.
He's going to be all. There's gonna be times he's gonna have to run over somebody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's gonna be times when he's gonna have to sit there and just throw darts.
Yeah.
There's gonna be times when he's gonna have to be an athlete. He's going to do it all, and
They ain't
he
got the
can't.
touch.
He can't be afraid to let it go.
Yeah.
Like this,
He's gonna have to.
you're gonna
I
have
mean,
to do
like,
your
he's
thing.
gonna have to. I mean,
And-
because if not,
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, you're playing against Mahomes. And again, Mahomes is is the standard in
Yeah.
today's league.
yeah.
You know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, and they are literally 4 drop balls from this game being played in Kansas.
Yeah.
That's how close this is. If they would have beat Philly, that's a drop ball. They dropped 4 balls in that game. They would have been the number 2 seed, and Buffalo would have been traveling to Kansas
Kansas.
City to do this.
Well, either way,
It's cold and yeah, about
it's
that
gonna
cold
be
either way.
it's gonna be cold. It's way colder in Kansas City, but there's way more snow in
Buffalo.
Buffalo and the wind.
That's lake effect.
Um,
Lake effect.
but I can't wait for that one because I love old school, like just outside, snow, cold,
Football.
Joker scoring and then sliding through the snow, crazy people in the stands throwing snowballs at each other.
Some people don't even got no shirts on. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yesterday. Oh my God, that was yesterday, dude. The dude was do that on a cape and no nothing.
Yep.
I was
Yeah.
like, nah.
Can't
I'm
do that.
telling you, man. And like I said, those are two of the best fan bases as far as just crazy and loud and
Mhm.
don't care what the weather.
Yeah.
So if it had been in Kansas City, it'd been the same way.
Yeah.
Buffalo is gonna be nuts. I think the Buffalo, the way they're playing, they're like, this is it. We got to keep it going.
Well, they got to.
So
Pressure's on them, though.
Does Buffalo edge them being that they're at home?
No.
No,
You
still
got
not.
the Chiefs.
I don't. I mean, the only reason I say that is because it's the Chiefs. I mean, if it would have been anybody else, I probably would give the edge.
It's like having Michael Jordan on the Bulls and you going against him.
You know what?
Mhm.
The Chiefs got one thing that Buffalo don't have.
Wait, that's Pat Mahomes.
That's Taylor Swift.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Taylor Swift. Here's the hot take of the day. The Taylor Swift effect.
The curse is coming.
This is what's going to happen.
The curse is coming.
One or two things.
Okay.
And it's a low win no matter what, right? I take it back. There is one way to win. So Taylor, I don't know if she goes to this game, but they lose. All the Buffalo fans, I mean, all the Buffalo fans, all the Chiefs fans are going to blame her.
Yeah.
They win. All right, it's all good, right?
Mhm.
If they don't win the Super Bowl, they're blaming Taylor
Yeah,
Swift.
they blaming
right?
somebody.
But,
Mhm.
Taylor Swift is the secret weapon that's going to bring them over the top. Now, watch. Here's what's going to happen, though. Kelsey's gonna have a wide open catch in the back of the end zone. He's gonna drop it, and then they're gonna blame Taylor Swift for the loss. So for Taylor's sake and for Kelsey's sake, you better not mess up because you catching it. You catching it, buddy.
Yeah, you is though.
We gonna blame her because he dropped the ball.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna say, "Oh, he wasn't thinking about the ball. He was looking up he was thinking about Taylor."
Let me ask y'all about this. I know it was getting a lot of publicity over the last couple of weeks.
Oh my God.
Probably because of last week. But you talked about it earlier with Cam Newton. Are people going to start hitting Josh Allen like a running back? I mean, y'all saw with the fake slide last game.
I think,
and he's 6'5". I mean, as a quarterback, he's 6'5" and he's moving. You have to put him down.
if he starts running, then he's gonna get the same treatment.
I'm gonna tell you the one difference.
They threw a lot of flash just about touching him when he was down.
Here's the thing.
So,
Cam, people wanted to make an example out of Cam.
Oh, he sure did.
Josh
doing nothing.
is he's Mr. All-American. Ain't nobody fooling with Josh.
Yeah.
And so he gonna get those flags. Where Cam was like, they were like, nah.
Well, like I said, put it this way, if he keep running, he lower the head, he gonna get hit.
He gonna get hit.
He gonna get hit 6'5"
But
or not.
but guess what? He gonna get hit and there's gonna be a flag.
No.
Cam was getting hit.
We were just
Looking
playing
for the
on.
flag.
Yeah.
No.
We just playing on.
Yeah, so when Cam started running, but see, what I'm saying is, like on that run last week where he fake slide. So see, I think they're gonna put a rule in for that because you can't do that.
Well,
You can't act like you're gonna slide in the defense.
Give yourself up,
run.
yeah.
That you can't do that.
I'm surprised they didn't already put that in after Kenny Pickett did it that time in
With the Steelers. No, with Pittsburgh.
but he did it when he was in college.
He did it in college.
Yeah.
In
When he was playing for Pittsburgh,
in a bowl game, he went to slide
fake
down.
slid and then
Was
he kept
that
going.
against Duke, right?
Wake Forest, I believe.
Yeah, you
Forest.
can't do
If I'm
that.
not
Yeah,
mistaken.
because if I'm coming at you full speed and you give yourself up,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna stop.
Yep.
Dude, I'm
So
about
they're
to
gonna,
kill you.
yeah, I'm about to kill. Oh my God, and I'm gonna stop now. You're
Yeah.
gonna act like you're gonna slide now. You're gonna fake slide now. If you want to juke side to side,
Yeah.
that's different. But when you want to start to do this and not do it,
And
You
then there
know.
was another hit that we have recently spoke about a couple weeks back because there was another hit about corners, well, just the defense in general, having to know what to hit, being that people were getting fines. The hit I'm going to refer to now is Detroit versus LA.
yeah,
The dude went low,
which
which I thought was a good hit. It didn't look good, but I thought it was a clean, good hit. But I mean, at the same time, how do you
No, it is a clean hit. I mean, okay, so.
get mad at the defense for that? I
No,
mean,
you can't get mad at the defense because we've talked about this before. Okay, so the strike zone when I was in school was here, between your thigh up,
Mhm.
right? So I could hit you. I could put my shoulder pad in it here. Now that we talk about, was it concussion,
PTE,
PTE, and all that other stuff, they keep lowering the strike zone. So if you put the strike zone between my stomach and my knee, and we both going down,
it's gonna be a lot of knees.
it's gonna be a lot of knees getting hit, a lot of thigh injuries, a lot of ankle injuries
Yeah.
because you're lowering the strike zone. I mean, I would much rather get hit in here than hit in my knee.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but that's
Yeah.
just me. But when, again, that window keeps shrinking. And think about it, if you're running toward me and I'm going low, you going low, as you go low, the strike zone goes.
keep going
with you.
down, yeah.
I said, so. it's
Especially
not-
when the cornerback is 5'8"
Yeah,
and you're the tight end and you're 6'4", 6'5", it's gonna look
It
different.
looks
It's-
different.
yeah, it's
it's
tough.
It's gonna be tough.
And these dudes are moving so fast. Like if you ever watch like
The old
like
TV.
when you watch it on TV, it doesn't look as
It's
fast.
fast.
But when you look at like the field view stuff
It's
and dudes are
fast.
just darting back and forth, I'm like, how in the world
They're
can you even keep
fast.
up with
Give
that?
up, yeah.
Speaking of fast,
Mhm.
I saw an article about this is total change of subject. This rugby player, did you see the thing about the rugby player?
No, I have not.
Who's in Europe, they have a like a American football like
Yeah,
developmental
yeah,
thing.
yeah, they do.
Well, he's like signed up for it or whatever. And so they say basically he's like, you know how they can track your game speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His rugby game speed
Mhm.
is faster than Tariq Hill's football game speed.
Wow.
And so they showed some highlights, right? of
Do you
this
remember
dude.
his name?
I can't remember his
Let me search
name,
him up.
but if you put in rugby player, American football, I'm watching his highlights. He's
Yeah.
like 6'3", big dude. And if you ever pay attention to rugby, like it's just like
Yeah.
you're trying to you kind of get the ball outside.
Yeah, so you can get it going.
Dude is like a laser.
Mm.
Now again, I don't know if he's ever played. When I first saw it, I thought he was like going to be a kicker.
Yeah.
But then I saw like, nah, he's trying to, use his speed or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how long it takes and what the yep, that's him.
Mm.
But
Louis
this dude,
Rees-Zammit.
yeah.
If you want to search him
But I
up.
watched his highlights and for rugby, like it's very entertaining to watch him. Like, but they said, they track his top end
So he's
speed.
running like 28 miles an hour.
Yeah, but it's
that's-
a little bit faster than Tariq's.
Wow.
That's fast.
Which is crazy. Now, again, there was back in the 80s. Remember, there's the whole thing about like track guys
Oh,
trying to
God.
be,
Yeah,
and that
well-
didn't work out for any of them.
Well, that's because they ran, okay.
Straight line speed
Yeah, like you said,
versus
straight line speed versus.
getting hit speed
and
versus
getting
catch the
hit.
ball
Yeah,
speed.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was the part, because
It's
in track,
different.
you don't get hit.
yeah. And so this dude's used to getting hit,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but he's also used to running straight line.
Straight lines.
And we don't know what his ball skills are, but you
Well,
get a
yeah,
chance, check it out.
That
It's-
ball is really big and this ball is not.
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was impressed by watching his highlights. And when they talked
Okay.
about his top end speed, if nothing else, sticking back there to return kickoffs.
Let me ask Alan this magic question I always
hold it.
ask him. What's the scores for today?
Ooh.
Man,
We got
Scores for
Buccaneers at the Lions house and we got the Chiefs at the Bills house.
all right, I got Lions 35, Bucs 21.
Okay. I was gonna say 31-17.
Okay. And then Buffalo 87. Chiefs 86.
He said
nobody's
playing no defense.
Nobody.
Actually, no. If this is gonna be one of them weather games, so I'm gonna go with low score. It's gonna be probably 10 to like 16 or 17.
Ooh, I'm going high score.
You going high school?
I'm going-
low
I'm
score.
going Bills. I'm
Going Bills. I'm going
say,
Chiefs.
I'm
I'm
gonna go
going
Bills.
Chiefs.
Again, I'm rooting for the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift. Because I don't want the girl to go through this. But I just got a feeling the Bills gonna be able to pull it off.
Not because he said I don't want her to go.
I don't want that girl to go through this. But
I'm sure the Swifties will
yeah,
will
yeah.
applaud you for that.
well, at least the game's not in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because then the camera will be on her
The
500
whole,
times.
yeah.
I'm guessing she might not go to this game.
She did go to the last one.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
at home.
It was
right?
at home.
He's
Yeah.
at home.
Against Miami.
I don't know. If she's in the stands,
Mhm.
she might need security to get out of there if
Really?
they lose.
Yeah.
Because they're
But
gonna,
it is
because they're
what
gonna blame
They're
it.
gonna- yeah,
Anybody
gonna
who
blame
thought
her.
Miami was gonna win that game, I feel sorry for you.
What type of dynamic does Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs need to be on today for them to
The
go
same
past
page.
Man,
go past
Actually,
the
not,
Chiefs?
okay, I mean,
What does Stephon need to do? We always talk
Well-
about Josh Allen not giving the ball to Stephon, and I love Stephon. What does he need to do?
I would say be patient, but this is not one of those times. This is one of them times where if you're gonna be a number one receiver, you gotta show up. You gotta
Yeah.
play, you gotta give him the ball. You can't be, as we discussed earlier, if you wanna win the game,
You gotta give it to your playmakers.
you gotta give it to your playmakers. I mean, I'm sorry. If he's open, you gotta give him the ball.
yeah. Gotta give him shots.
You gotta give him shots. If
Yeah.
you're not, I mean, what's worse, right? Oh, we lost the game by 7, but I got 0 targets and I was in the end zone doing this.
Right. Playing in the snow.
Yeah,
You know, I'm making snow angels because you throwing the ball to
Yeah.
the tight end because, hey, that's not the game plan.
right.
Bro, I'm open. As they say, what was this? They said, who was a receiver from Carolina that went to the Raiders?
Steve Smith
No,
no,
the
went to the
receiver.
Raiders.
No, the UNC,
Oh.
the slot guy.
Recently?
Yeah. So the running joke is before what was the coach name?
McDaniel?
Josh McDaniels got fired. He would call him every night and say, I'm open, click.
Is it Mac Hollins?
No. It was, I don't know who it was, but it's their slot receiver. It was hilarious.
Recently?
You know, it might have been Switzer, not Switzer.
Switzer, Ryan Switzer.
Yeah, but
Ryan Switzer.
Yeah, but Switzer won't get no
But he was
run.
saying, but he was calling him and saying, I'm open. He
Wow,
called him and he said, look, I'm open, click.
wow. I
Throw me
loved
the
Ryan
ball.
Switzer
Throw
in,
me
in,
the
in
ball.
college.
You know what's crazy?
No run.
Chad used to do it too.
Yeah.
Ochocinco.
Oh yeah, Chad's
Said he
open.
would call his quarterback like, "Hey, I'm still open. The game be open, and I'm still open, by the way."
Look, Chad's one of those guys who can run right. Chad was one of those guys would tell you, I'm gonna run a stop route. And run a stop route,
Yeah.
and you couldn't do nothing about it.
He'll get the ball.
He's like, look, I'm gonna run a stop route, bro. It's gonna be a 10-yard stop. I'm telling you right
But
now.
again, I bet you probably can't name
Hmm.
a top number one receiver
You ain't open.
who doesn't always say they're open and didn't want you to throw them the ball every time.
I know you can't name one of them. I guarantee you that.
We talk about Pat Mahomes being
Yeah.
the face as a quarterback. Who's the guy as a wide receiver? Who is the guy?
The face or the best player?
Not the face, not necessarily the best player. Well, best player, but who is that model for up and coming receivers to be like, I want to play like him, or that's the standard.
Well, I
right?
mean,
Depends.
And I know so many teams got one.
it depends.
It
Yeah.
depends on the system you run.
And it depends on what you're looking for. Like you looking for speed,
Tyreek.
you looking for Tyreek. And if you got that kind of top end speed
Yeah.
and you run that kind of offense where you can get away from people,
Mhm.
then that's what you're looking at. But like your Jefferson, Jamar Chase, those are like probably the 2 young guys that I look to that literally think I'm open, I'm faster than you, I can jump higher than you, I'm better than anybody you put out there with me. Right now CD is killing it.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I
You
mean,
got to throw Debo in there just because of the year he be having over there.
yeah,
man.
but not as a receiver, more as a
he's
do everything.
Yeah.
People can do a lot.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's different. I mean, like I said, it's different. I mean, like I said, Chase, but Chase was him in college. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Chase was that guy.
Chase made the number 1 DB in the country look like me.
Right.
That's sad. I mean, he made him look bad.
But you got to think too, when you got Joe Burrow out there throwing
Oh, yeah.
dimes,
I mean, you had
and you got the fastest, best receiver in the country,
you got Chase, you had Jefferson, you had the tight end.
yeah.
They had the box stars over there.
They had something over
Yo,
there.
I'm gonna tell you what.
I'm
I'm gonna tell you what. You give me all of the national championship winning teams
Mhm.
for the last 10 years. I'm taking that LSU team.
Oh yeah, because they beating everybody.
I'm taking that LSU team over everybody. I don't know what was in the water that year. I'm taking
They beat
Joe
the-
Burrow and that squad
Right.
over everybody.
Here we go. They beat the. Man, but I'm telling you, bro. Nobody. They were like, somebody told me, because I remember when they said, "Oh, you got to watch Chase." I'm like, "Yeah." Man, I turned on the tape. I was like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
that kid is
Yeah.
incredible." I said, "That's NFL talent already."
Ready. Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, you talking about?" I said, "Bro, he about to make every DB to cover him look stupid."
Look, and when Joe Burrow got
Oh.
killed his first year,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yo, man, we gotta get your a lineman." He said, "Nah, get me Chase.
Yeah.
Bring him in.
Yeah.
I'll take a couple more hits. Get that dude when you got a chance to get that dude."
And look, and what they do, they went all the way to the ship.
All the way to the
for one
championship.
dude. And,
Yep.
but again, they got to. That's another team that has a really good core. Unfortunately, it's going to break up soon.
Well-
T. Higgins, Chase.
Mm.
They got the tight end. They got
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Guy in mind. No, that's the other guy. That's a Cleveland. Can't remember. They got a pretty good tight end, and they got a good run game.
You just
So-
got to keep Burrow healthy, man.
Yeah, but see,
I have a feeling I just get a vibe
yeah,
that he's going to have a short career because he just
Pitts.
always gets some kind of
Injury.
injury that's going to.
But then they need to go ahead and shore up the line, and he needs to take a page out of the Peyton Manning book. 1, 2, 3, 1, drop.
Yeah, yeah,
What do you mean? 1,000, 2, 1,000. Somebody's gonna hit me. Fall down.
yeah.
Take.
Throw
Throw
it away. Throw it away.
Throw it
You
away.
ain't fast. You ain't Josh Allen. You
Yeah.
throw it away.
Burrow's my guy though.
Yeah, Burrow.
I like it. He got the swag of Cam. He got the pocket awareness of Brady. You know, he's young.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a.
I like
Yeah,
I
like I said,
like
but
Burrow.
it's gonna be like I said, but it's funny though because I mean,
So who is the franchise? Is it Burrow? Is it
Burrow.
Texas?
It's still Burrow. It's
Burrow.
Okay,
It's,
okay,
it's very
okay.
rare that it's not the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because think about this: if you don't have, again, we probably could think real hard about it, but
Mhm.
you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a receiver either.
man,
Yeah.
Because
it's hard.
The receiver's coming for the quarterback.
imagine if Jamar was playing for the Panthers right now, like he'd
Poor
still
guy.
be great, but we wouldn't be talking about him because he can't get the ball,
Well,
Can't get
right?
the ball 'cause
Yeah,
the quarterback's on his back.
our quarterback's looking up.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
see nothing but blue skies. Yeah, everybody's open from this angle.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, like I said, that's the sad part about it though. Like I said, but for those individuals, like I said, I feel sorry for Bryce Young, speaking of Panthers. Like I said, I think I've seen I've watched a couple of the games on the NFL Network, and that poor guy just didn't have time to do anything.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, he said, Brady said hike sack. Brady said hot sack.
Yeah.
Like, good God, man, get the man in no line.
Yeah.
But like I said, but it's very rare that again somebody else even think about it. Even when teams are winning and they have all the talent, all right, we can talk about San Francisco, right? You got all that going on. They talk about either McCaffrey or Purdy. They hardly talk about Debo.
Right.
They hardly talk about IU.
Yeah. Yeah.
They hardly talk about Jefferson. Is his name?
Yeah.
Jeff? Yeah, those are the
Yep,
receiving
yeah.
core, and they talk about the tight end, of course, every once in a while. But when they're talking nationally about
Yeah.
the Niners, either they talk McCaffrey or they talk Purdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is because I think and in part that's because the quarterback has his hand on the ball
Yeah.
the entire game.
Yeah.
And whether he's good or bad, quarterback's always your face of your
Still got to get it
franchise.
to him.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the sad part about it because I'm sure there's a lot of talent all across the league. I mean, even in college is that. Well, in college is a little different because you can premiere a D lineman. You can premiere a D lineman and get away with it because you're in college.
Yeah, but even
It's
that,
hard. though.
he ain't on the billboard.
No,
You know what I'm saying? Man, he ain't on the billboard.
You know, billboards. Normally, it's a receiver.
It's
or-
the skill guy because
yeah.
you could have the best offensive lineman in the
Oh,
world
he's not getting any love.
and people,
I did see, Alvin, we talked about it. I did see that the Raiders did hire.
Oh,
they
yes,
did
that
bring
was-
him
yeah,
in.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a good one. I think that was
They hired him. I know the big talk around
Pierce. Pierce.
the league right now is what is Bill Belichick?
Well, so he's done. I think he's done 2 interviews with the Falcons.
Yep, that's what
I know
heard.
Harbaugh's interview with the Falcons. It'll be interesting when the first job goes, right? Because then the dominoes are gonna start falling.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee the Panthers have brought him in or wanted to, but he ain't going there.
Ain't nobody-
But they've all tried to. They're all looking for the same people,
ain't nobody going
And
there.
so,
That's the
it'll
sad
be
part.
interesting when the first one it signs.
Yeah.
Then everybody else is gonna have to fight for the leftovers.
And did Harbaugh get an interview for the Chargers as well?
Yeah.
I think he's
Yeah,
already.
he's gonna
So he got
get
a-
one.
They keep saying that's probably where it's gonna end up.
I know.
That's the best situation.
Yeah, I know Dion has been talking as well. He's been on social media kind of prominently
I don't
about
know what.
as far as him needing a defensive coordinator and how
He's
he's
not
trying
going.
to
He's not.
finding the right one. Maybe he said maybe it's one from the the NFL, maybe it's from college,
got
but he
you.
wants to get that right.
I got you.
Um,
Well, did I hear that Warren Sapp is coming?
Oh,
to
no,
coach
Warren
with
Sapp,
us?
oh, yeah.
Yep,
Warren Sapp-
he's
Warren
going
Sapp-
over there
yeah,
with
Warren
them as
Sapp is going
well.
up there,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, with all these coaching jobs open and people getting fired and people leaving, what's if you were a coach, what's the
Mhm.
best job to have, and where would you want to be if you were a
Okay, I can
coach?
tell you the worst job. I can tell you the worst job.
Is it pretty close to where we're sitting
Yes,
now?
it is real close to where we're sitting.
Okay.
Good, I would not, that's the one job I would not take. I would go back to doing whatever I was doing before I took that job.
Wow.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, unless it was just for the money, because in order to coach, you gotta coach. You can't
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You own it, it's yours. It's
You do what you want with it.
want
Yeah.
with it, but if you wanna win, sometimes you gotta let people do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but like I said, to me, the best job with the most talent, right? Which team has the most talent?
Chargers?
Chargers actually
quarterback.
have, they actually have a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Right.
They did bring in a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really have a good defense. You got a quarterback, and one of your receivers, and Allen, he may be retiring or
He's a little long in the tooth, but he's still putting up.
he's still putting up some good
yeah.
numbers.
Mhm.
So, you're gonna need another receiver, because you got Eckler, who's a good back. So you got everything you need.
Well, and everybody, I don't know why, but everybody loves living in LA.
Yeah, that too.
Everybody from
Yeah. Well,
football
everybody.
to basketball to
That's-
soccer
that's-
to
I
everything,
mean, think about it. LA,
baseball.
it's like we talked earlier, it's a large market. That increases what? Your endorsement.
Well, it's a large market, and it is always sunny.
Yeah, that too.
So
But-
don't love sunny
but-
weather.
You better make money because they're gonna take it all in taxes.
Yeah.
Man, look here. I'm looking for the Texas teams, the Florida
Well,
teams.
there's no hires though.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah, there's no hires.
man, LA, man,
So-
you
so
better
LA
better
Okay, so
ask
you're
for-
you're taking the Chargers. You're
Oh,
taking the
okay,
Chargers
cool.
job before you would take an Atlanta job.
Yeah,
Is that
Yeah.
what you would do, Alan?
I mean, because in Atlanta.
Yeah, because you don't have a
You
quarterback.
don't have a quarterback in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
And if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have nothing.
Here we go. All right.
So what's Bill's plan? What do you think Bill's plan is regarding
Okay.
that?
Hang around till I win 14 more games.
Yeah.
Become the all-time leading winningest coach, and then walk off into the sunset.
Yeah, okay, so you got 8, I'm sorry, you have 7 jobs now. Or are we counting the what do you call it? Are we counting New England?
Oh, yeah, we gotta call that one, right? Because
Yeah, New
What
England,
did they
because Jared Mayo got the job. Because it was written into his contract last.
oh, so that was done then. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah, so that was written in, so that job's gone.
So you got Chargers, the Commanders, Falcons,
Panthers.
Panthers, not Texans, Titans.
Yeah, Titans.
Titans, yes.
That's five.
You just Google it, we got all these things in here.
Yeah.
Here we go, it's right there, boom. Boys, yeah, why don't they just,
Yeah.
8.
yeah, there's 8 openings, so oof. Oof.
There we go.
I'm trying to see who we got, I just want the list, I don't hate when they do it like
Go
that.
fast.
Yeah, see,
Okay,
7,
there we go.
so you got Carolina, which is listed as 7 because that's
Yeah.
bad.
Putting him down to bottom.
So we got, nobody wants that job because of the amount of
Matter of fact, we
turnover.
don't even gotta do that right here.
Yeah, oh yeah, Seattle.
Seattle, I forgot about Seattle.
Oh, yeah, because
Seattle's
Pete
a good
Carroll,
job.
Pete Carroll, yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
that's a good
the
job.
cover's not bare on that in
Yeah,
Seattle.
they're not.
And then the
So-
Raiders already hired their coach, so we don't
Yep.
have to worry about that.
So the Raiders are gone. See, so that leaves us. That leaves the Titans, Washington, oh my God. Seattle, Chargers, Panthers, and the Falcons. But see, and the Falcons have talent, they just don't have a quarterback.
Yeah. I think that's probably the
And I
the
think,
next job on the list.
all right, so then, okay, so if I was, quote unquote, let's say if they hired Antoine and his staff. First thing we're gonna do is say, okay, what kind of draft picks we got, because we can trade for a good quarterback, because we're gonna need to develop. Right, and we're gonna make sure we actually run the ball, throw the ball to our 2 top picks, which makes no sense to me. How you did not throw the ball to a tight end that runs a 4.4.
Yeah.
And a running back in Bijan that you didn't even let him carry the ball.
Yeah.
Like, how could you not do that, right? I have no clue, because their play wasn't bad, it was the play call was horrible. Ah,
And you look at it, even
Jesus.
that job really isn't that bad because they almost won the division
Yeah, I mean,
with the
What they have now?
Yeah.
I see that's the sad part about it. I'm like, bro, you could have been in the playoffs
Yeah.
if you just was. You're. This reminds me of the Super Bowl where we're going to throw the ball instead of running it, and we're
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
You got Bijan in the backfield. He's a fresh tailback. He's not a ninth-year guy who's been beat up. So guess what? He's fast. He's big. He's strong. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to get a ball to him if I got 5 yards to get
Yeah.
to the end zone. And he wouldn't do it. So
Yeah.
that's why he lost his job. All that time, he won't do nothing with it. Actually, so the next best option after, what is it? After Atlanta would be who? Because then you got Seattle.
So I'm thinking, Seattle is definitely the next one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Panthers are definitely the worst.
Oh, God.
Tennessee.
I feel like Tennessee really quite ain't figured out what they really
Well,
want to do either.
I think the GM.
Somebody
screwed them
on
over.
somebody's
Really?
confused
Well,
on
yeah,
that.
okay, so when you had AJ Brown and that other guy, I can't remember the other receiver on the other side, but that's when they went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
AJ said, "I wanted $100 million," and they traded.
Mhm.
Like, why would you?
Let me see who's on the other
Like,
side.
Yeah, who was on the other side with AJ? But they were both the same. I think they were one.
Was it not? Was it not? Julio?
No, Julio was in Atlanta. Julio may have played there, but he wasn't on the other side actively. I can't remember who it was, but it was another guy on the same. So it was a good team because Tannehill is
He was serviceable.
serviceable. Yeah, I didn't want to
Yeah.
disparage him, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That's one of those. Their window just closed
yeah.
because they were there. I felt like
they got rid of him because I think their mistake was trading Julio because they had the run game, they had the pass game, they had it, right? All you needed was a serviceable quarterback because they didn't have Mariota. They had moved on from Mariota,
Yeah.
and they went to Tannehill.
Yeah.
And I'm still shaking my head. And they paid Tannehill a lot of money, and then they traded Julio. And remember, after they traded
AJ.
AJ, it just went downhill. Because now we don't have the guard against a receiving threat. It's just Derrick Henry. We got to stop the run.
Yeah.
So Vrabel, and again, I think Vrabel is a very good coach from the Belichick tree.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a lot of discipline, and he's going to manipulate the rules to his favor as much as possible.
Mhm.
So I think he is a good coach.
Yeah. Well, and they went back to Tennessee. They're moving on and they're going with Revis. I mean, not Will. What's his name? Levitt.
Yeah.
Levis. It's gonna be that's who they're rolling with.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have some growing pains with him,
Yes, they will.
but that's who they're rolling with.
He can throw though.
Yeah, he got a hammer. Right.
I'm not sure who was
Yeah, I can't remember who the other
But yeah.
receiver was. Yeah, there was another receiver built just like AJ Brown on the opposite side.
But yeah, I think they just their window closed and they just didn't make the adjustments to keep it going.
Well, they fired what was it?
somebody in there.
I can't remember that. Was it Darius Jennings? Or was it Sharp? I can't remember. I'd have to see him.
Okay.
They were literally built the
The
same,
same.
I think.
Yeah, feel like that's 2022.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no worries.
don't worry
But
about
but
it.
yeah, but Vrabel's a good coach. He's gonna get a job. He'll get a good job.
I hope we don't go to
Um,
Carolina.
I could see him going to Seattle because he's
Oh.
kind of have the same
Yeah.
defensive kind of
Scheme.
mindset. It'll be interesting. It'll be
How do y'all
interesting.
feel about and I doubt that he loses his job. I mean, he walked out and kind of had the same reaction that I would if I was him. Mike
Don't-
Tomlin.
You got that? No,
He already said he's working on an
Yeah, he-
extension.
they would be.
What do they need to
Hold
do?
on.
to-
What was our friend's name?
Oh yeah.
He said, "Let Tomlin walk." I said, "He'll have a job until
Before he gets out the door.
They'll be like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
You said, did you say you're quitting?
Yeah.
And we have this cushy spot. You want to come on down?
Yeah.
I said, "Man, I literally texted one of my friends who was a diehard
Steelers fan.
Steelers fan, and I said, I talked to one of your fan base guys. He said he let Tomlin go. He says he lost his mind.
Yeah.
I said, man, do you realize? I said, a winning season for how many years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, teams would trade everything they got
For that
to take place. Yeah, you think you should have,
9 Super Bowls like us.
Yeah, well, look, we think that too. But guess what? You don't.
You don't
You got one, and you haven't had a bad team
Since.
in ever.
pull up with minimal talent.
Right.
Does he need? Do you? And not saying that he needs one,
Huh?
but does he need a new environment?
I think I don't think he needs new environment because again, they trust him and they let him do what he do.
Yeah.
They let him cook.
Yeah,
He gets whatever basically, he's one of those coaches where when you come to the Steelers, this is what you're getting. If
Yeah.
you don't want to be part of the Steeler way, then,
yeah.
It's the highway.
And,
Get
they got a
the-
thing built up
Yeah.
where it's like, this is the,
Kind
Yeah.
of like in New England, it's the New England way.
Yeah, Patriots way.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So, and it's, and they don't advertise it, and Alan
Yeah.
said something that's very keen. Mike Tomlin was the only person to hold AB in check.
Yep.
Only person.
Yep.
Every place else he's gone, AB been AB.
Yep. And when he went off the rails,
He went off
He
the
went off the
rails,
rails.
so, again, I don't know the guy, but I love the way he speaks. I love the way he carries himself.
Yes.
I love the way he interacts.
Yeah.
I
I would love to, I
it's
think,
love.
and again, you never know. I think people like playing for him.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, that's what it feels
Ryan
like
Clark,
anyway.
I said, Ryan Clark even said, he's a good guy. He like when Ryan Clark was injured, it's not time yet. When Ryan Clark was injured and he couldn't do the, what is it? When he couldn't go up and go. Yeah, so when like Ryan Clark was saying that, when he had that, remember when he had that blood thing and he said, oh, I'm ready to play, coach. He was like, yo, you ain't playing, bro.
Yeah,
He said, no, you can't play because you might die.
yeah,
He
yeah,
said, you can't do this. He said, so that for me says a lot about a person. Says, look, your health is before the game because you
Yeah.
need to be here for later on. And I think Ryan, was like real appreciative of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I think, that's a guy I would want to play for.
yeah,
Because I know this coach is like, yeah, you ready to play?
yeah.
Go
He would
play.
never put you in harm's way
in harm's
type thing.
way,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
said, so, I would love if we could get him in Dallas,
Man.
give us a ring.
Give us it just changed the whole culture.
It
but,
would, man. I mean, like I said, just go ahead and put forth. How many rings we would have if that guy was there? Oh my God.
With the talent we've had,
With the talent we've had, like I said, with the talent we've had that we do nothing with constantly.
yeah,
Yeah, man, I said, it's just scary and sad at the same time.
yeah.
So like I
definitely.
said, I mean, he's going to get re-signed again. I mean, that's not going to be an opening you ever have to worry about
No.
because that family does.
They're loyal
Yeah,
and they make a good hire.
Yeah.
And they stay with them.
Yeah.
To do their thing.
Mhm.
He'll leave, but way before
yeah,
he's in danger of getting fired
yeah.
because he'll realize, this isn't working
I'm
anymore.
sorry. And when he leaves, he'll have a job in broadcasting.
Yep. And then whoever they bring in
They'll have
will
to-
be there for another 20 years, more than
Yeah.
likely, because that's just how they
That's-
do it.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
See, but that's how you build a program, unlike the Panthers.
You
and-
can't, you
Unlike
can't,
the team we were talking about
you
up the
can't
street.
just drop it every year
Every year.
and keep trying. Nope. Next year. Nope. Next year.
So how, before we close up right quick, how good would the Detroit Lions head coach have been with the Panthers?
No, because
He wouldn't have-
no,
Okay.
because, and I say the main contributing factor is the Ford family is very, to what I hear, is
Yeah.
very hands off.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is your thing, go do it. Whereas other owners who are more involved cause problems.
Yeah.
Just in my mind.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's like this. There's only one cookie in 5 hands.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to get a piece of cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
But
can-
yeah, but just like with the the teams where there's like the dominant owner,
yeah,
again, say what you want, it worked for Dallas.
Yeah.
It just hadn't worked recently.
well. yeah,
But
yeah,
the franchise is still doing its thing, it's still relevant. So whether people can make fun of, we haven't done it since then, whatever.
Yeah.
He has built it into the most dominant franchise in history.
in the world.
But when people like Dan Snyder, for example, tried to duplicate that, it doesn't work.
That's-
And so where's Dan Snyder now? He had to sell the team. So Washington's going to end up being a decent job
Yeah.
if their new owners can, again,
And did you hear about the owners? I know it's one of,
Magic.
I know Magic's one, he's
I
not
know
the
it's one of
majority,
them
but
from the Warriors.
Yeah, no, they want the GM from the Warriors.
Yes,
They want
yes.
they
Yeah.
actually, they brought them in
In,
to
yes.
consult
yeah,
on
Yeah.
who they should hire because it's gonna be a rebuild.
yeah,
Because they need a lot.
yeah,
They
yeah.
really do. I
Yeah.
mean, I hate to say they're probably, I feel sorry for Sam because he's in not a good situation. I
Right.
mean, they put him in a starting role. He threw the ball. I
Oh,
get
yeah.
that.
Through week 12, he was leading the league in
He was-
passing.
he leading in
Mhm.
passing. So,
But,
I
yeah.
think they should give him my opinion, before they draft a quarterback, they need to surround him with stuff.
Yeah,
Well, I think they're gonna end up drafting Drake
Yeah,
May.
I know, but I
And
mean,
and I love Drake May.
yeah,
I love Sam Howell.
yeah,
But you're really putting everything in, if you,
Yeah.
you're still gonna have to have the stuff around them.
Yeah.
Like I love Sam and I would take him on my team as my backup any
Yeah.
day.
Mhm.
And he's a dude I think you would always never have to worry about your one goes down.
he's good.
He can win you games.
yeah.
In the right situation, like you can see, he can win you games as the one.
Mhm.
I don't see him as a franchise
Quarterback.
quarterback that's gonna be there from day one. And
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong because I like the dude as a
Mhm.
Tar Heel. Drake, they're putting all I just think they're gonna put all the,
Chips in.
my buddy that's a big Washington fan
Mhm.
wants them to take, there's an offensive lineman out of either Penn State or Notre Dame. I can't remember which one is the guy.
Yeah.
Nah, you need to
They
take
want
that
him
guy.
to, they want him to take him,
Mhm.
keep Sam,
Mhm.
and then try to build
Yeah,
instead of taking, Drake and then, but who knows?
you know,
I think they take Drake.
yeah,
and they
I mean,
keep-
that's the flashy pick.
Yep.
Nobody wants to go with
Yep.
the gritty pick.
And we just hope he doesn't turn into Mitch Trubisky.
That was the worst pick Chicago.
Yeah,
They jumped up to do that. And I was like, what?
they did. And again, Tar Heel, I love him.
No, he wasn't the, I'm sorry.
Wasn't
but
the guy.
He was not.
Didn't work.
No, was not the guy.
Mitchell.
Dude,
Didn't-
when I watched him play,
Mhm.
he's a good quarterback, but he's not a top 3 draft pick.
Well, and again, he only started 14 games at Carolina. That 14, that 14 games,
Here we go.
he balled out.
Here we
And
go.
evidently, Chicago only saw those
Saw the
14
14
games
games.
They didn't see what
didn't
I
watch,
saw.
and didn't watch anything
Hold
else.
up, they didn't see what
Yeah.
I saw. Because I was like, why are they? He would have been there like in the second.
You could have gotten him. You could still get him.
For cheap.
He would have been.
For
He would have been.
cheap.
He'd have been available now.
I was like,
But you know what sold him? You know what sold him though?
what?
Changed his name. He said, "Don't call me Mitch. Call me Mitchell."
Yeah.
They were like, that's
Ooh.
the kind of
The moxie.
that's what we
Yeah,
want.
that's what we like, creativity.
We want that moxie over
Mitchell?
here.
Yeah, that sounds more NFL quarterbacky.
I'm sorry.
Let's roll with that. That's so
That's
good.
what I wanted.
So, Mitch, tell me what you think your future as a quarterback is going to be in the
You
league.
called My name.
You know what?
Chill.
Call me Mitchell.
Yeah.
Sold.
Where's the laughter at? Hold on a second. I gotta find the laughter.
Sold.
Oh,
You got a laughter on that one.
And the rest is history.
There is.
Yes, it is horrible. Now that franchise, and so sad for the other guy. Speaking of Chicago, the other guy, man, he's Justin Fields. They're moving on from him.
Yeah, looks like it.
See, think about it. Okay, this is just you take Justin Fields, you trade a fourth because they want to get rid of him. Let's put him in Atlanta.
Oh man, I'll take that deal right now if I'm in Atlanta.
You take that deal. You don't have to. You can say, okay, we got a quarterback for a fourth. He's already been in the league 3 years because
Yep.
look, he's not even been in the league, and he's got a guess what? He's got a cheap contract.
Yep. Still, his contract still cheap.
Still cheap.
Yeah.
The fact that Caleb's having, and not necessarily him having all this power,
Should have talked
but Caleb, his concerns about the organization there. Then I heard the coach from USC is going to be
Kyle. Yeah,
a
he's
part of that
organization.
staff as well to maybe bring Caleb in.
Well, again, I think you're the one that mentioned that or we saw something that
Yeah,
he
we
was
did.
like, I
don't want to go to a bad situation.
I said, look, this dude is not going back to college.
Yeah.
And if he needs to stop talking before he messes up his reputation,
Yep.
and then you end up getting drafted by that place, and now you got to rebuild the trust of all your teammates because they already heard you say, you think we're a bunch of losers and I'm not
Yeah.
coming here. He needs to be quiet.
Yep.
He already declared, so he's in. If
Mhm.
Chicago decides that's the hell they want to go with, then you need to
Allow
be the
them to
best
make it.
Chicago
They do.
that you can do, because don't mess it up by talking too much now, and then your teammates gonna look at you side-eye when you get there.
Talking about
Look,
yeah.
there was a point in time where the MVP of the league did not have a job in the league.
Yeah.
Please, Caleb, don't be that.
Yeah, he's
Don't
gonna
be that guy.
Look, he's gonna be that guy because he's already started.
Don't
I
be
mean, I hate
that
to say
guy.
it though. I mean, because okay, that would be like me walking in the what's the biggest company around here?
Around here,
Yeah, just no, not around here. What's the big? Okay, let's just say I walked into shell corporation.
Okay.
Hey, you know what, guys? I think I should be the CEO or I should get a stake in the company. And they go, who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Look, especially if 2 weeks before you were on social media talking about Shell is
Yeah.
a horribly run.
Yeah.
I would never go to Shell. And then they throw some money at you, you come in and you're like,
So the first thing is a board meeting. So what were you saying about how
Yeah.
horrible we were?
on
again?
second thought.
On second
Yeah.
thought, you're going to have to build some trust. with
Exactly.
us.
Exactly.
I mean, God, that is something. Sometimes you just need to be quiet.
Yeah.
And make the best of your situation because you never know, especially in NFL. Just like Houston, nobody thought Houston was going to be where they are today.
Yeah.
Right. He went to a situation. He made the best of it because of what the coaching. You don't know what coach. You know what? They could get Belichick in Chicago.
Right.
Right. Belichick puts a monster defense together.
Right.
Gets you. And now, and you could go to where, no, I want to go to who's got the second pick in the draft.
Washington.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I
Yeah.
want to go to Washington because they're not as bad as Chicago.
Yeah.
You go to Washington, you have a horrible.
And then you're like, oh.
Because now you got to face
Yeah.
the Philly defense twice, the Dallas defense
Yep.
twice,
Yep.
and the New York defense twice.
Yep.
So now you look like Boo Boo
Yeah.
the Fool.
Again, it's worked a couple times. It worked for
It
Elway.
only worked twice.
It worked. Well, I was gonna say
It only
worked for
worked
Elway.
twice.
Worked for Eli.
That's because Eli. Look, that's only because I'll say it worked the second time because Eli had what? His dad and his brother already in the league
Yeah, the name.
and a name.
Yeah.
Caleb, I love you, but I don't think you have that name.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're talking,
Yeah.
and you're an unproven commodity in the league.
Yeah.
If you were that dude, you should have taken USC to the playoffs.
Yeah. And again, he might be that dude, but all right, guys. So that was episode number 2 in the books.
Yes, it is.
We will, God willing, be back next week
Yeah.
with another show, more topics, more hot takes,
More hot takes.
more
See who
hilarity,
won.
More craziness.
more craziness from three novices that think we know what we're talking about. But you can be the judge whether we do or not. But
Yeah.
guess what? We got opinions and we're gonna share them.
That's right.
And if you like it or don't like it, comment, share, click,
Like,
subscribe,
subscribe, all that.
tell us we don't know what we're talking about.
Hey,
Tell us, you know what? That's the best thing I've heard all week. Hey,
You guys
what
are
we're here for.
horrible.
That's
Yeah, that's
what
why
we
we
here
love
for.
us.
exactly.
That's right. Again, a novice take. Again, great show. Like I said, a lot of content. Like I said, just give us some views, some listens. And again, I would say contact me, but please don't.
Yeah.
And that's the end of episode 2, guys. Y'all be safe.
All right. Thank you.